We'll start with the prayers. Om Bhadram Karnebhi Shrunuyama Devaha Bhadram Pashe Makshabhiryajatraha Stirairangaihi Stuštuvagum Sastanubhihi Vyashema Devahitam Yadayuho Swasti na Indro Vriddashavaha Swasti na Pusha Vishwavedaha Swasti nastakshorarishthanemihi Swasti no Brihaspatirdadato Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Kaivalya Upanishad from Atharvana Veda consists of 24 mantras. It's one of the shortest Upanishads and a very, very beautiful Upanishad. It gives all the information which is required by a student to enter the spiritual journey. It explains to us what should be done in the spiritual journey, and then it explains to us what is the benefit of this journey. So all the aspects of Vedanta are covered in these 24 verses, concise verses, and a very, very beautiful Upanishad. For all the beginners, I would recommend to study this Upanishad first so that you understand the basics of how the revelation of our true nature takes place. We all come to study the Bhagavad Gita because it is a sacred, really sacred text. We have heard from Acharyas that Upanishads are higher texts which reveal the essence of the whole creation. So there is a curiosity in us. How can a text reveal the creation? What the whole creation is? Now that is the secret of the Veda. It has got a method. It has got a process by which it reveals, and a fit student will be able to grasp the teaching. That is the beauty of the Veda. So our goal is to, first of all, attain fitness. And here we are talking not about physical fitness, but we are talking about mental fitness. Our mind has to be fit for the study. Now that is what we have seen in the first 4 mantras so far of this Upanishad. Today we are going to enter the 5th mantra, the 5th verse. I will start with this chanting first, and then I'll explain to you the summary of what we have covered, and then we will give the explanation of this mantra.
विविक्तदेशे च सुखासनस्थः विविक्तदेशे च सुखासनस्थः शुचिः समग्रीवशिरः शरीरः शुचिः समग्रीवशिरः शरीरः अत्याश्रमस्थः सकलेन्द्रियाणि अत्याश्रमस्थः सकलेन्द्रियाणि निरुध्य भक्त्या स्वगुरुं प्रणम्य निरुध्य भक्त्या स्वगुरुं प्रणम्य हृत् हृत्पुण्डरीकं विरजं विशुद्धम् हृत्पुण्डरीकं विरजं विशुद्धम् विचिन्त्य मध्ये विशदं विशोकम् विचिन्त्य मध्ये विशदं विशोकम्
Verses 2, 3, 4 are sadhanas to be covered. That was what was explained in these 3 verses. Then verse 5, 6, 7 are going to talk about dhyanam. Dhyana means meditation. And dhyanam, before Vedanta study, is called as upasana. And it is to make myself ready for the teaching. Then after the study of Vedanta or the Upanishads, this same process is adopted. This is called as Dhyanam or Nididhyasanam. Whatever we have studied, we try to bring it into our mind during our meditation, so that all our actions become divine, so that all our thoughts become divine. That is the advantage of post-Vedanta dhyana. So the student's request was there in the first mantra, which is called as Brahma Vidya. Brahma Vidya means the essence of the whole creation and how I can get moksha or freedom from liberation of limitations. So the goal of Upanishad study is very clearly mentioned in the very first verse, where the student goes to a teacher and asks, what should I do to remove sorrow from my life? This is the same question which Arjuna asked Lord Krishna in the very first chapter. I have sorrow in life, what should I do? Then Lord Krishna gave the teaching of Atma Vidya, Brahma Vidya in the whole Bhagavad Gita. And we also, when we go to our own teacher, we will say, okay, I have seen life, what it can offer. I have seen the value of money, the value of things in the world, objects in the world, relationships in the world. They all give me comfort and incidental happiness, which lasts for a short time. But deep inside me, there is an urge. There is an urge to know more about what I am experiencing in life, more about what is this life all about. So that is what is mentioned in verse number 1 itself. Verse 2 and 3, it covered what are the sadhanas which we should do. And the sadhanas mentioned were Shraddha, Bhakti, and Dhyanam. Shraddha means faith in the scriptures, which we get through Shravanam, through listening to the scriptures. Mananam means a feeling of devotion to the text, what we are learning, and removing the doubts of the teaching. Nididhyasanam is a process by which it is basically meditation. Meditation is a process, we will go into the depth in our study today. That was the third 3-step process which was explained, the discipline to follow in the field of spiritual journey. And then it was also said Vairagyam is important in life, and it is not what money we have which will give me this freedom of limitations and freedom from sorrow. What will give me freedom is the study of Vedanta. Sannyasa ashrama is mentioned in verse number 4, which we saw last week. What it really means is mental sannyasa. Mental sannyasa means what? Mentally, I try to renounce all my possessions in the world, mentally, not physically. Mentally, I say, I want to know the truth about myself. What is this soul which is living in this body? I want to know the truth of that soul. That is what is called as, was mentioned in verse number 4. And today we are going to start with verse number 5, and which from verse number 5, 6, 7, 3 verses are going to talk about dhyanam. How should I do meditation? And then there are 30 indicators which are given for the truth. On what should I meditate? The object of meditation is also mentioned in 7 to 10. So our whole focus between this week and next week is going to be on meditation. And if you know Bhagavad Gita, if you have done Bhagavad Gita, you will remember chapter 1 to 6 of the Bhagavad Gita is Karma Yoga, which is to purify our mind. Karma Yoga means what? I do all my actions on a daily basis with 2 bhavanas. One bhavana is I do all my actions to make the Lord happy. Somebody has given me this body. This body has been is not mine. It is somebody else's. I have not manufactured this. So Lord has given me this body. I will do all actions which will please Him. And then what second bhavana? The second bhavana is whatever I get as a result of my actions, I will take it as a prasad. So when I take these 2 bhavanas, this attitude in my life, this gets rid of a lot of problems we suffer in life. Because our problems come mainly because we take this body as the self, and I am the body. That is the problem. We have done this Adhyasa Bhashyam last time, before the start of the Upanishad. You should keep that in mind. And that is what we will see when we do verses 16 onwards. There is a beautiful section in this Kaivalya Upanishad, which will talk about the reality in this world. So Bhagavad Gita 7 to 12 is talking about Upasana Yoga. Just to recall, for all of you have done Bhagavad Gita. So I'm just recalling what you have learned in Bhagavad Gita. I have finished the entire 18 chapters. And the videos are available in the class folders. So Upasana Yoga is a very important step, which is what we are going to study now. Now, with Upasana or meditation, what do we get? We get the focusing ability of the mind. All our minds are basically wandering. That is how the Lord has given us the mind. Our mind wanders from one subject to another subject. And this is nothing new. All of us know about it. The 3 levels of meditation which we are going to see in this section is Ekarupa Ishvara Dhyanam. Before that, I will explain to you what the verse meaning is of this particular 5th verse. Here it says, in an undisturbed place, Vivikta Deshe cha Sukha Sanastaha. How I should do meditation is explained in this verse. It should be a clean and a pure place. Shuchihi, Sukhanastaha, clean, undisturbed place. Then Samagriva Sharira Sthiti. I must have a comfortable posture. Atyashramasta Sakalendriyani Nirudhya Bhaktya Swagurum Pranamya. What should be the posture of meditation? This is what I always emphasize in the Wednesday sessions when I have a meditation sessions. So for those of you who are interested to know about meditation, you can write to me. I can send you the list of all the meditations I've conducted, or you can just visit the website. You will see all a meditation section, which will teach you how to do meditation. So here, the attitude is very, very important. We need to control our senses. We need to control our mind. And then it says you should salute your teacher mentally with reverence. This is a very important step in meditation. Because many a times we don't know how to meditate, what to meditate, where to start, where to end. That is what I will go through in this process. So in the seat of meditation, you bring the mentally, the teacher, the teaching. If you don't have a teacher, then you just say, bring Lord Krishna into the mind and say, okay, Lord Krishna, now you are teaching me this. There is something higher. I don't know what it is. And there is a teacher. We require a teacher because this is something which we can't learn on our own. So we have reverence for the teaching. And where is this meditation done? In the lotus of the heart. Within us, in our own intellect, that is what is called as the lotus. That is where we need to focus our attention, and all the thing takes place in that lotus. Our whole process of the journey process is the moment we enter into our own mind, then the first step starts in meditation. So when we do meditation, there are three types of meditations which are possible. One is called as Ekarupa Ishvara Dhyanam. This is what most of us will know about it. We have seen some idol of our Ishta Devata in the temple, in the photographs. We have seen Rama, Krishna, Shiva, Devi. We have different forms. Gayatri Devi, so many different forms are there. You can bring any form into your mind and just try to remain with that form. You can chant some shloka connected with that Devi, closing your eyes. Very important is closing your eyes. Anekarupa Ishvara Dhyana means it is the Lord is seen as the cosmos itself. This is what is mentioned in Bhagavad Gita chapter 9. There are three verses which I have given here. Jnana yajnene chapyanye yajanto mam upasate ekatvena prathakvene bahuda vishvato mukham. The Lord teaches us that He is everywhere. That is what is the essence of this particular verse, the 15th verse of the 9th chapter. Meditate on me, who is everywhere. All the forms you see, it is Ishvara. When you see it, yesterday it was Ishvara, today is Ishvara, tomorrow is Ishvara. All forms. This is how Lord Krishna says, meditate on me with form. Aham kritaraham yajna swadhyaha mahamoshadam mantroha mahave vachyam aham agriham putam. I am the mantra, I am the butter, I am the fire. Brahmarpanam Brahma Havihi, you know that verse. It is very similar to that. That means what? Whenever I do any puja or devotion, you say that this Lord is doing everything. He is the one who is chanting, because ultimately there is one power which is responsible for these actions of all the bodies. There is one switch, and that switch is called as Ishvara. Pitahamasya jagato mata dhata pitamaha vedyam pavitram omkara riksama yajurevacha. So Omkara is a syllable. It is the one syllable which will purify your mind is O. O, chanting of O. And here the Lord says, I am the father, I am the mother of the whole creation. Like you have for a child has a mother and father, for the whole creation, there is one. There is a Purusha and a Prakriti, which we call it as the mother and the father of the whole creation. So the essence is in chapter 10 and 11, Lord Krishna says, you meditate on the entire glory of Ishvara in chapter 10, which is called as, which is the, where all the divine glories, he takes one by one and he says, anything you see which is beautiful in this universe, remember, always it is from one source. Then in the 11th chapter, Lord Krishna explains to Arjuna that you have seen the whole universe, but now you try to see the whole universe in me. That means one as many and many as one. So in this way, when we dwell on the creation, some people can do Eka Rupa very easily. Some people can do Aneka Rupa very easily. It all depends on our mindset. What is my mind which accepts, and whether the mind is able to understand Aneka Rupa as Ishvara. Some people find it difficult. So drop it, doesn't matter. See, for all of us, the mind is very, very different. And then the last one is called as Arupa Ishvara Dhyanam. Now, Ekarupa Dhyanam is possible if you know the glory of that Ishta Devata, if you have read some stories about that Ishta Devata. You can meditate on that. But to remember what is Arupa Ishvara. Arupa Ishvara means formless nature of God. A formless nature you will know only when you have learned, when you have studied Vedanta. Through Shravanam, Mananam, Nididhyasanam, once you have completed this process, then the third, the highest level of meditation is Arupa Ishvara. And Arupa Ishvara is, you require a lot of knowledge. Vedantic knowledge, the knowledge from the Upanishad, the knowledge of the Swarupam of Ishvara is required. That Ishvara is not the object, but the Ishvara is the subject itself in this body. The one who is trying to meditate, that meditator himself is that particular, is that Lord. So Dvaitam gives way to Advaitam. Dvaitam means what? I am separate. I am the subject. I am meditating on Lord as an object of meditation. And that is what is Dvaitam. What is Advaitam? Advaitam means you study in the Veda that there is a reality. There is one truth. And that truth is called as God. That truth is expressing as the whole world. So actually speaking, is there God and world? No. According to Vedanta, God alone is reality. The world is an appearance which comes and goes. The world cannot be counted as a second entity. in the Vedantic philosophy of Advaita. This is where you need study. You need a process by which you will go through, your mind goes through the entire way of looking at this world. So ultimately, what do we realize? This formless God is nothing but he himself is in this body, and this formless nature is the truth of the entire creation. That is the ultimate in meditation, and meditation is important. The process that is why this next 3 verses are very important if you are seeking the goal of moksha. If you are academically interested to know what is Upanishad and what does it contain and all that, but not ready to apply to your own self, then meditation is not required. You will know, it'll be like academically you do a course in philosophy in the university. That is not what we are doing here. What we are trying to do here is applying that knowledge to ourselves, for which we require to use our mind till the last minute. You cannot drop your mind. So we use meditation for self-discovery as per the methodology prescribed by the Shastra. It is not a process of sitting down and planning for your activities. No, that is not the goal. I will sit down. That you can do separately in your office, in your desk. You can sit down and say, I'm going to plan my day, plan my week, plan my year, plan my next 5 years, plan next 10 years. That is deliberate exercise which you do with your mind and intellect. That is not what we are talking as meditation. Or you keep on worrying about so many things in your life. That is another thing which people think that is what is meditation. You just sit down and here you are going to study a Vedic method of how to meditate. Now, posture is important, but you can either sit down in Padmasana, but the problem is many people, Padmasana is a big challenge. It's not compulsory. And if you can't come out of Padmasana, it's a problem. So it's a Herculean task. So as you just sit in a comfortable posture, it can be, meditation can be done sitting on the ground or sitting in a chair. But you cannot meditate while you're sleeping. Lying down, I will meditate. That is not what you will be able to do it little later, not now. When you're when you're starting the meditation, you must learn the correct way. In chapter 6 of Bhagavad Gita, the whole chapter is talking about meditation. For those of you who are interested in meditation, I will give you a synopsis of that chapter in the next slide. But before that, what I want to explain is, here it talks about the methodology. Samam kaya shirogrivam dharayan achalam stiraha sampreksha nasikagram swam dishashanala lokayan. This is the method of sitting in firm posture. How the head, neck, and your back should be erect. And you should not be moving. It's not like a pendulum which is moving left and right. And then there are some people who keep on moving while in meditation, but that is not required. That should not be done. Sit straight, because your objective is to control your mind. First of all, to reach the mind itself is very difficult, because your mind or your body takes away all the attention first. So in order to come to your fulcrum, the central core of your personality, which is the Atma, First, you have to reach your mind. And then inside the mind is this Lord who is present. That Lord is the light of Atma. That is the pure light which the Vedas reveal. Chanchalami mana Krishna pramati balavadridam tasyaham nikraham manye vayoriva sudushkaram. Arjuna complained to Lord Krishna and said, this mind of mine, you don't understand, Lord Krishna. You see, it is very, very difficult to control. Why? It is restless, it is turbulent, it is strong, and it is unyielding. He gives 4 factors of the mind, which these 4 factors are there for every one of us. Whoever has tried meditation, he or she will have faced these 4 problems. Restlessness, turbulent. Turbulent means what? It is just going on and on and on and on. Becoming bigger and bigger and bigger, like a storm. All this is said to note what is your mind. And how do I recognize this mind? Then it is strong. Balavad. Balavad means very strong. I can't just push it off. It just holds on to something and it never leaves. Dridam. So 4 factors of the mind are mentioned here. Very important to note these points. Pramati balavad dridam. Chanchalam. Always restless. Okay, so these are just, I'm giving you some glimpses of Dhyanam, and so that you understand what is the whole topic of meditation. Mental sannyasa is the highest and the greatest, holiest ashrama. It is the place where you are bringing in the Lord of creation, of the whole creation into your mind. It's a very holy place. It's very divine. So when you sit in meditation, you should bring divinity in that atmosphere. Nirvana Shatkam is a very popular text. It's a shloka written by Shankaracharya, very beautiful text for meditation. One of the mantras there is Na mrityur na shanka na me jati bedaha pita naiva mata na janma na bandhur na mitrum guru naiva shishyaha chidananda rupaha shivoham shivoham. See, when you are ultimately trying to reach the highest point in your personality, you have to drop all the other objects and beings in the whole creation. And that is what is the focus of meditation. After you have removed everything, what do you say? Chidananda rupaha shivoham shivoham. Chit ananda rupaha. In my own mind, there is a Chaitanya Swarupam, that Shiva, that Lord is in the form of awareness principle, consciousness principle in this mind of mine. So before starting the meditation, you pray to the Guru and say, oh Lord, oh Guru, now for the next 5 to 10 minutes, I want your blessings to remain with the Lord in this body. And then you start the meditation. Because what happens is, there is a law of association. When you remember the Guru, you will remember the teaching. Because the moment you sit down and close your eyes, if you can say, this is what was taught in Kaivalya Upanishad, The Lord was presented in Kaivalya Upanishad as Arupa Ishvara. Arupa Ishvara is nothing but it is the awareness principle in this body as well as in the entire creation. Without that awareness principle, the light principle, which makes me aware of this body and the entire creation, there is nothing else in this world. That is the ultimate truth. Suppose I don't remember the Guru. Many people always find difficulty in even entering the meditation chambers. Even to enter is difficult. Because the moment you close your eyes, immediately your boss will come, your son will come, your daughter will come, your father's relationships will come, all relationships in the world will come. You will just sit down for 10 minutes and then after 10 minutes you feel, okay, now enough. And then you'll get up. The pressure of vasanas, the pressure of impressions in our causal body is very high. And we are fighting our own mind when we sit in meditation. It is our mind and myself. I want to do certain things, but the mind says, no, no, this is what you should be doing. So that is a challenge. The tug of war is going on between the seeker who wants to meditate on the teaching and the mind which throws up tantrums inside. Hridayam, heart, is the locus of the mind. Hridayam means the heart, the physical heart is the locus. That is where the mind is sitting. That is what, according to Vedas. Veda says it is not the brain in the forehead and all that. It says your mind is in the heart. Mind should be attractive, holy and pure. In the mind, you invoke Ekarupa, Anekarupa, and Arupa Ishvara. Rit Pundarikam, that's what is said in this mantra. Pundarikam means what? Attractive. Attractive lotus. That lotus represents your mind. The lotus pure, attractive. Similarly, your mind should be attractive. It should be drawn inward so that you can have the feeling of the presence of awareness. There are 4 indicators for the condition of the mind, which is given in this mantra. Number 1, virajam. Virajam means what? Rajoguna. Virajam means without the Rajoguna. And what is the Rajoguna does? What is the function, the role of Rajoguna in the body, in the mind? It makes you wander. The wandering and restlessness is caused by a guna. That guna is a part of Maya Shakti. It is a Shakti in this body. Like you have the speaking Shakti, the hearing Shakti, the tasting Shakti. These are all the powers in this body. So similarly, in this body, there is a wandering nature of a mind. So a person who wants to sit down in meditation, he must remove this wandering. Vishuddham. Shuddham means pure. How do you make it Shuddham? But removing the Tamoguna. Then you also remove it by not making it sleepy. That means if you have not slept well, don't sit in meditation. That day you skip meditation. Visadam. Visadam means making it sattvic, making it knowledge-oriented, peaceful. Vishokam means being cheerful, without any sorrow. So keeping these indicators, you check the quality of your mind when you sit in meditation. Is it full of Rajoguna? If it is full of Rajoguna, then I have other methods. I have to only chant Omkara. I have to chant a few slokas. to make it calm down. If it is tamoguna, then take rest, and then when you're fresh, you come and meditate. If you're not sattvic by nature, if your mind is not very pure, or it is not peaceful, it is not knowledge oriented, it doesn't want to learn things, it wants to go and enjoy things in the world, then in that case, there are other methods, which is what is called as karma yoga. Shokam, vishokam is very, very important. See, when you sit in meditation, don't be with a lot of sorrow in your mind and try to meditate. Make your mind cheerful. There is a Lord who is present here. I want to be with that Lord. Come on, let me try. Become cheerful. Don't think of all the other problems in your life as much as possible. So with a cheerful, smiling face, then a creative thinking takes place. It is no longer a gloomy or a sleepy mind. This cheerful, free, pure mind invoked during the preparation is a big advantage in meditation. And then what do you do in meditation? You focus the mind on the object of meditation. Flow of similar thoughts to the exclusion of dissimilar thoughts is the definition of meditation. Meditation involves two things. Remove the dissimilar thoughts. Remove the dissimilar thoughts means what? Suppose I'm sitting down in meditation and I'm thinking of what should I do in the office tomorrow? What should I cook for dinner? That is what is a dissimilar thought. Flow of similar thoughts means what? I am here to meditate on the light of awareness. This light of awareness is divine. And this divine light is the Lord himself in this body. This is all similar thoughts. So when you focus your energy in this fashion and sit in meditation, you will definitely get the benefit of meditation. It is not a thoughtless state. Initially, you will be happy with saying Adharam Madhuram, Vadanam Madhuram, Nayanam Madhuram. The Lord Krishna has got a wonderful lips, wonderful face, wonderful eyes, Madhuram. Everything about the Lord is wonderful. You should start with that. Doesn't matter. That is what is called as Ekarupa Ishta Devata Upasana. So after you have done that for a few days, months, then you can go to Anekarupa. To do Anekarupa, study the 10th chapter of the glories of Ishvara. The whole world is nothing but his glory. Arupa, as I said, these are the three ways mentioned in the 12th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita. Ekarupa, Anekarupa, Arupa. Arupa is the most difficult, but it is possible with the study of Upanishads. Very easy. After you study this Upanishad, you will be able to do this Arupa meditation. Before I go to the next verse, I want to just give you a glimpse of the chapter 6 of Bhagavad Gita, because that is connected with this whole 5, 6, 7. Chapter 6 of Bhagavad Gita has got 45 verses, and it tells you there are basically 4 or 5 sections which I have enumerated here. The first section is about Bahiranga Sadhana. What are the things I should practice which will help me in meditation? How to keep my day successful, happy, so that when I meditate, I don't really think about my day's problems, but I'm able to focus on the higher nature. That is Bahiranga Sadhana. Antaranga Sadhana is specific discipline before the meditation. The process of meditation is what is the condition? That means before the actual meditation happens, I should take a right place, right time, right seat, the right body posture, keep the sense organs in control, not that they are open, keep them closed, eyes are closed. Then withdraw the mind from all the outside objects, make the breathing gentle, and then focus on your mind and intellect. This is how Antaranga Sadhana is described. Then, what is the Dhyana Sarupa? That is from 18 to 32 of chapter 6 of the Bhagavad Gita. So, for those who are interested in meditation, focus on this 18 to 32. What is the Dhyana Phalam? The most important benefit which we get out of meditation, number one is, first of all, we come to know our mind. What is my mind? Many of us don't know our mind at all. We use the mind throughout our life, but we have never inquired and gone and seen the mind as a Sakshi. I am the seer of the mind is a seen object for me. The seer is consciousness, awareness, principle, which is the Lord, which is the higher nature in this body. Mind is the ego I. It has got the ego, it has got memory, it has got lot of impurities. All the impurities like raga, dvesha, krodha, kama, all this means what? Anger, jealousy, so many, it has got it, so that is the nature. See, we cannot change what Lord has given us, but we can be objective to it. That is what is the process of meditation. I see the mind exactly like I see my face in the mirror. Meditators, if you become good in meditation, in about 3 to 6 months' time, you will become aware of all your thoughts whenever they arise, good or bad, and you will also become aware that you could not control them and you are bowled over by your thoughts. You are just pulled in, that's all. That I, which is separate, always separate from that mind, got pulled in, and then you conducted the life. You had your experiences. So the main benefit is the mind becomes an object rather than the subject. Normally for all of us, the mind is the subject itself. I am the mind. So you will learn to discern the mind and Sakshi. Dhyana Pratibandha, this is also obstacles. What are the obstacles and what are the remedies? The main obstacle is Vikshepa, which is what Arjuna mentioned. My mind is wandering, projecting and projecting and projecting all the time. For that, the Lord gave the answer. The solution to that is Abhyasa and Vairagya. Abhyasa means practice, regularly practice. Daily practice for 5 minutes. Just say this is, and like I brush my teeth, I eat my food, have my lunch, dinner, and breakfast. Similarly, by 5 minutes, sit down and meditate. Then there is a question. What if I meditate and I don't reach this Atma at all? I want to get free of sorrow, but I have not succeeded. That is the question which Arjuna asks in the section 34 to 45. This section is for those people who have got doubts about what if I don't achieve the goal which the Lord has given me in the chapter, to know yourself, your real Atma, that's Sakshi. If I don't know, if I am not able to achieve that, that seeker is called as Yoga Bhrishta. This is where Arjuna's pessimism comes in, and then the Lord describes that this Yoga Bhrishta will be born again in a yogic family. Right from the beginning, he will have a good atmosphere of learning and starting upasana to reach the highest. Or he'll be born in a rich family where he doesn't have to really work hard at all for his comforts in life. The moment he is born, he's got $1 million, $5 million, $10 million or rupees or whatever you want. He has got people around to take care of him, and then he has a wonderful life. Right from the beginning, he gets into the mood of study Bhagavad Gita, Upanishad, Brahma Sutras. He's drawn into it. These are the benefits of the meditation which you perform. Your study will never go wasted. That's what Lord Krishna promises in this particular section. So in the spiritual study, don't have any doubts. What if I have not finished the 12 Upanishads? I started, but then I left somewhere in between. Don't worry, you will again start sometime. Many of you have started now. It is not something that inclination to study Upanishads is not something born yesterday. No, it is coming from your previous tendencies to know. You have come here into the class because of some pressure in you, something which has brought you here. Otherwise, you will not come to Upanishadic study at all. Okay. Then the next verse, I will just chanting for this.
Achintyamayaktamanantarupam Achintyamayaktamanantarupam Shivam prashantamamritam brahmayonim Shivam prashantamamritam brahmayonim Tathadimadhyantavihinamekam Tathadimadhyantavihinamekam Vibhum chidanandamarupam Vibhum chidanandamarupam.
Okay. The next verse, Achintya Rupam Abhyaktam Ananta Rupam Shivam Prashantam Amrutam Brahma Yonim. This verse is talking about the higher truth. How do I see the reality in my own mind? Achintya Rupam. What I will explain each of these words as we go across. Achintya means Mano Agocharam. Mano Agocharam means the senses and the mind cannot have any access to this Atma, this light of consciousness which I want to study, which I want to take it as my goal in meditation. The Upanishad says it is Achintya. Achintya means the mind cannot think about that. We can only take our mind towards that as an indicator. The Lord who is present in this mind cannot be taken as an object. That is what it means as by the word Achintya. Now, these are the indicators. There are 30 indicators which are given to us from this verse onwards as we go by. Each of these are indicators for us to keep going further and further deep inside our mind. If it is not an object, what can it be? It can be only the subject. aham. That is why you should say, I am that pure awareness. I am the Sakshi. If you say that, then what happens is, in the seat of meditation, you are with that higher truth for that small period of time which you are devoting. This is the way to meditate. Avyaktam, this is the second indicator. See, these indicators are called as Avantara Vakyam in Upanishad. There are two types of sentences you will find in the Upanishads. Now, these are the Avantara Vakyam, means these are explaining the nature of the Lord with the help of words which we use in the Laukika world. It will only tell you the Lord exists in this nature. It is Paroksha Jnanam. This is the Lord. The description of the Lord in the Upanishads is, this is what is called as Avantara Vakyam. You will find many, many Avantara Vakyams. Whenever we study the Upanishads, you should always note down these mantras. Because these are the mantras, if your mind dwells on them, initially it will be called as Paroksha Jnanam, the knowledge of the Lord, as given in the Upanishad. Then there are sentences which are called as Mahavakya. Two Vakyams, okay? These are to do with the nature of the Lord. Mahavakya means that Lord, I own it as my own nature. Whatever is the Lord's nature, the Mahavakyam says, Tat Tvamasi. From verses 16 to 22 of this Upanishad, we will study what is the Mahavakya. 16 to 22. Now we are studying Avantara Vakyams, which are descriptions, Paroksha Jnanam. Mahavakyam is Aparoksha Jnanam. I apply it to myself. And that is a very important step. This is how Upanishads have to be learned. First, I understand the nature of the Lord by these words: Achintyam, Avyaktam, Shivam, Prasantam, Amrutam, Brahmayonim. These are all words. I see the depth of these words, the meanings of these words in my own mind when I sit in meditation. Avyaktam means it is not available for the sense organs. The five sense organs cannot objectify Atma. The first one we said Achintyam. Achintyam means the mind cannot think. Now we are talking about the Indriyas, the sense organs. It is imperceptible to the sense organs. Therefore, what is it which, if this is the truth, if this is the highest truth, something which my mind cannot think, something which my sense organs cannot perceive, that is the Atma. I keep this in mind, I close my eyes, and I remember the fact. When I remember this fact, automatically I am drawn to that formless nature of Atma. Try it out. Just use these words, Achintyam, Avyakt. Anybody who wants to try meditation, you give it a try in your own home. 2 words, use 2 words, sit for 5 minutes. This Lord, He is there in this body. The nature of that Lord cannot be described by the mind. The mind cannot think, conceptualize that nature. So I drop the mind. Number 2, Avyaktam. Avyaktam means the sense organs, it is not an object of the sense organs. It is not a sound, it is not a form, it is not a color, it is not a taste, it is not a touch, it is not a smell. This awareness is imperceptible to the sense organs. It cannot be conceptualized by the mind. It is pure awareness, formless, invisible truth which exists in this creation. The third, Shivam. Shivam means auspicious, Mangala Swarupam. That is the definition of Shivam. Mangala Swarupam means it's always auspicious. Auspicious means it is very, very important in life, very significant. Prashantam. Prashantam, Shantam is tranquil. Prashantam means totally tranquil. There is nothing more peaceful in this whole universe apart from this Atma. And where is it? Not outside, it is inside you. Totally tranquil, Prashantam. That is my real nature. What is the other nature which I get? The turbulent mind is not my real nature. It is a false nature. It is an incidental nature. It will appear, it will disappear. That is the truth which this verse is trying to reveal. Amritam. It is not something which is changing, but it is eternal. It is Satyam. Eternal. What is the meaning of eternal? Time does not affect this nature of mind. The body is affected by so many things. The mind is affected because of so many conditions. But there is a changeless factor which is called as Amritam. Mritam means change. Mritam means death. Mritam means transient. Amritam means changeless, permanent, beyond time. This is the fifth factor. These are beautiful factors for us to meditate. The best advantage, the benefit of this study is when you sit down and meditate on this. Brahma Yonim. Brahma Yonim means it is the Jagat Karanam. Brahman means it is defined in the Taittiriya Upanishad as Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma, and it is the Jagat Karanam. In the same Upanishad, in the 19th verse, this nature of Brahma Yonim will be described. It is a source of from where this creation comes out, where this creation is sustained, and where this creation is resolved. That is called as Yonim. Yonim means womb. Brahma Yonim means the whole creation. That is what is Brahman. Brahman means it is limitless. You can say Singapore is limited, India is limited, America is limited, Japan is limited, the earth is limited, the stars are limited. But this one is Brahman. Brahman means it is unlimited. It is infinite in size. And it is a yonim. It is the womb of the entire creation to take place, sustaining and resolution of the whole creation. And you have to meditate it as present in this mind. First, learn that there is something like this. Many of us, before we come to this study of Upanishads, don't even know all this. Achintyam, Avyaktam, Shivam, Prasantam, Amrutam, Brahma Yonim. Nothing makes any difference to normal people who are not studied Upanishads. Adi Madhyam Anta Vihinam. Adi Madhyam Antam Vihinam. Adi means there is no beginning, there is no middle, there is no end. That is why whatever doesn't have a beginning, middle, or end is called as infinite. Your day ends and your day begins. That is not infinite. Your body has a beginning, body has an end. It is not infinite. Mind has a beginning and mind has an end. At the end of the day, your mind goes to sleep. It resolves. It is not infinite. It is finite. But this awareness principle is infinite, not touched by time, immortal. It is cannot be seen by the eyes. Ekam. Ekam means non-dual. The moment we say it is two, means Dvaitam, I and the world. There is no two-ness in this world. It is only one awareness. In that awareness, this whole world is coming and going. Therefore, it is the world cannot be taken as a second entity because it is mithya. Mithya means it is coming and going. It is an appearance, but it is not a second entity. Like what? Like the reflection of your face in the mirror. Can you say, I am one and the face is in the mirror is a second, so we'll have 2 cups of coffee, one for the reflection, one for me? No, you don't take that as real. So similarly, I am the awareness, pure consciousness principle. The whole world is an appearance, is a reflection in this consciousness. Therefore, I say there is only Advaitam, there is only non-duality in this world. There is no two-ness in the world. There is only one awareness principle in which this reflection comes and goes. Ekam eva advitiyam Brahma, Chandogya Upanishad. Very, very detailed explanation is given in Chandogya Upanishad for this word Ekam. We will study that. When we study that, we'll be all growing from this Kaivalya to Chandogya later. Chidanandam. Chidanandam means fullness. Fullness. Any anandam, anandam means happiness. When do you feel happy? When you are full. When you don't lack anything, at that time you feel I am happy. Suppose you feel I lack this, I lack this, I lack this, I don't have this money, I don't have this house, I don't have these children, I don't have this, then you're not full. You don't feel complete. The feeling of completeness, fullness, comes only when you are with yourself. When you know that I am Atma, the nature of Atma, according to the Upanishads, is fullness, completeness, Purnaha, blissful, Anandam, then you say, yes, that is my real nature. Body, mind, world is an appearance, coming and going, coming and going. I don't take too much cognizance of that because now this nature of mine has become predominant. Arupam. Arupam is formless nature. Adbhutam. Why it is formless? Because anything with form is limited. That is the rule. Anything with form is limited in time and in place. It can be in one place, it cannot be in another place. It can be in time, it cannot be in timeless. It can be yesterday, but it cannot be after 100 years. If it is with form. Anything with form goes, it is destroyed. So, Ultimately, if God has to be there permanently in this as the cause of the universe, as the resolutor of the universe, as the maintainer of principle of the universe, he has to be formless. Again, this is mentioned very beautifully in Taittiriya Upanishad, Satyam Jnanam Anantam. In that portion, this is very well explained. Adbhutam. Adbhutam means what? It is the greatest wonder. The nature of the Lord, and if I accept that that nature is my own nature, it is the greatest wonder, because we spend life searching for this all around, because I'm looking for happiness everywhere. Every sort is the seeker himself. That is what is said in the Upanishad. What I am seeking is what I am. What is sought is what I am. That is why it is a wonder in this universe. In the whole universe, the person who's searching, what is being searched, everything is in this mind itself. Bhagavad Gita says in the second chapter itself, it says, Ascharyavat pashyati kashyidenam, Ascharyavat tataiva chanyaha, Ascharyavat chainya manya shrunoti, Shrutva yenam vedana chaiva kaschit. Lord Krishna says, one sees this as a wonder. Sees this means what? Sees this Arupa Ishvara as a wonder. Oh, there is something like this? Formless? Yes, yes. Another speaks of this as a wonder. Wow, this is really fantastic. I never knew this. This is all speaking about that wonder, which is that Lord in this body. Another hears of this wonder. Oh, yes, yes, you really think that this is the truth? Yes. Having heard, none understands this at all. So, hearing or seeing is not the truth. Hearer, the seer, is the truth. The hearer has got no form. The seer has got no form. The hearer and the seer is not the body. It is not the mind. It is the consciousness, awareness principle, which is formless. That is how you understand this message of the Upanishads. Aneka Rupam, that formless Lord is appearing as this entire manifold, infinite forms of the universe. How is it possible? In the dream, for example, everything which you see, right from a tiger to which is running and in the forest and trying to scare you, and so many things you see in the dream. What is all that? It is all your mind's creations. So similarly, there is an Atma, there is an awareness, there is one principle from which this whole universe resolves. That principle is called as Brahma Yonim. That is the higher nature. That is what is called as Atma. There you don't see any plurality, you see only Advaitam. One alone exists. Vibhum, Vividham Bhati. Vibhum means it appears as the Akasha, Vayu, Agni, Apaha, Prithvi, and then all the products of the 5 elements. All this matter principle exists, is pervaded. Vibhu means is pervaded by that consciousness principle. See, these are all the indicators of the truth. Unthinkable, unmanifest, endless forms, auspicious, peaceful, immortal, creator, without a beginning, middle, or end, only one, all pervading. That is knowledge bliss. Chidananda Rupam, Adbhutam. So this sixth verse has got 13 indicators of the truth. It is called as Paroksha Jnanam. This is how the truth is. This is how the Lord is explained in the Upanishads. Every Upanishads has got this type of mantras. Whenever this type of mantras you see in the Upanishads, write them down, copy them in your desktop, and keep it separately. That is what I did when I was studying the Upanishads, the 12 Upanishads. I used to take it out and keep it separate. Whenever the mind is a little sattvic, try to remember one or two or three of those features. It will help you a lot in quietening your mind and proceeding in your journey, where you can go a little bit more deeper, more deeper, more deeper. See, we have to dig our mind, our own mind deeper and deeper to reach the core of our own personality. It is not outside. The truth is not outside, but once you have seen it inside, the same truth is there outside, and that is how you realize the ultimate essence in your own mind. The next verse.
उमासहायं परमेश्वरं प्रभुम् उमासहायं परमेश्वरं प्रभुम् त्रिलोचनं नीलकण्ठं प्रशान्तम् त्रिलोचनं नीलकण्ठं प्रशान्तम् ध्यात्वा मुनिर्गच्छति भूतयोनिम् ध्यात्वा मुनिर्गच्छति भूतयोनिम् समस्तसाक्षिं तमसः परस्तात् समस्तसाक्षिं तमसः परस्तात्.
The seventh verse is it talks about how to meditate on this Lord in this body. Umasahayam Parameshwara Prabhum Trilochanam Neelakantam Prashantam. How do I meditate? Meditate on Lord Ishvara, Parameshwara means Shiva, consorted by Mother Uma, that means with Parvati. Now, who are these people? How do I meditate on them? They are the most powerful. Lord Shiva is the most powerful, three-eyed, blue-necked, ever tranquil person of reflection on this truth. He reaches the source of the manifested world. So when I meditate on the Lord with these features, who is ever tranquil, then what happens? My mind also gets the tranquility. And this Lord, which is, how do I meditate? He is the source of the manifested world. Number one is a source. Why I take this as a source? Because it is the Upanishad, which is a pramana for that truth. The scriptural verses, these are the verses. Verse 6, verse 7, these are the pramanas. Pramana means the source knowledge of Atma, the source, the source for the knowledge of Brahman. These are the verses. Here it says it is the source of the manifested world. This truth which is there in my own body, in this world. Body is in this world, right? Yes. So in this world, there is a higher principle which is called as Brahman, which is what? That Brahman is what? It is the source for the waking world which my five sense organs are perceiving. And it is a witness of all. Why it is a witness? Because it is beyond the five sense organs. That is how I should understand the real nature of Sakshi. And this Sakshi is beyond all darkness because it is a light of consciousness. There is no darkness, there is no ignorance. In sleep, there is ignorance, there is darkness, that is Tamoguna. But here it is not Tamoguna, it is Chaitanyam Sarupa. That is the difference between going to sleep and being aware of your true nature in the waking state, which is the cause of the manifested world, which is the witness of the manifested world. Bhuta yonim samasta sakshim tamasa parastat dhyatva munir gacchati. A person who meditates on this, where does he ultimately reach? He reaches Bhuta yonim. He reaches the source of all the worlds. And second word, he reaches samasta sakshim, the witness of not one mind. He reaches the witness of all the minds of all the human beings, the living beings. And third, what is the third description? Tamasa parastat. Tamasa parastat means he is beyond all forms of tamas. Tamas means what? Darkness, ignorance, where nothing is there. It is only a mass, homogeneous mass of consciousness. But this one is the light of consciousness. So this verse number 7, we have seen before 13 indicators. Now we are going to see some more indicators here. I'll just give the explanation. Eka Rupa Ishvara, as sample Shiva Swarupam is taken here. That means you take as if you bring the Lord Shiva with form and then say, I'm meditating on my Ishta Devata, who is Lord Shiva, or you can take Krishna, Rama, Devi, any god, Gayatri, anything. All of them, whatever idol you are meditating, you can take up and then you apply all this. Here he takes Umasayam. Umasayam means Shiva who is with Uma Devi. Parvati. Parvati represents Maya Sahita Shiva. In this universe, there is a creator, which is the sentient cause, and then there is a material cause, which is the Maya Shakti. Both of them together is what we see as the waking state, as the dream state, as the sleep state. What we are trying to do in our study is trying to understand the nature of something which lies beyond this matter principle. That is what is the highest, which is what we call it as Brahman. Here we are taking Lord with the form. Parameshwara here is Lord Shiva. And how do I meditate? That he is the Lord of creation. Shishti Sthiti Laya Karta, the one who is responsible for the creation, maintenance, and the resolution of the universe. See, as a Jiva, I am a part of the world. This world is not created by me. It is created by the Lord. There is a creator. This is how we study the Upanishads. Prabhu, he is omnipotent, capable of doing anything. See, this Maya Shakti can do anything. It can create, it can destroy, it can maintain, it can do all three. So in every day in our life, this is what we see: creation, maintenance, sustain, resolution. Some people are born, some people are dying, some people are maintained. Trilochanam. This Lord has got three eyes. To Laukika, that means Shastriya Chakshu is the third eye. Why I cannot see Advaitam through my normal eyes? Because the normal eyes are designed to see Dvaitam. How do I see Advaitam then? How do I see non-duality? Through the study of the Upanishads. I come to know there is a Lord who has got the third eye. That third eye is nothing else but the knowledge of the Veda. Vishwarupa Ishvara is also taught in Dakshinamurti Stotram. It is also taught in Bhagavad Gita. It is taught in Purusha Suktam, where it says that the Surya, Chandra, and Agni are the three eyes. The sun, the moon, and the fire principle are the three eyes. The sky is the neck. Heaven, this is the cosmic being, the description of a cosmic being. The heaven is the head. The stars are the jewelry of this, the earrings, the nose rings, the bangles, the chains. These are all what? The stars. The earth is the feet. So this is one way of describing for meditational purposes. Neelakantham. Neelakantham means blue-necked one who swallowed poison, has power of protection to save the world. That means there is a Shakti in this Lord, a power in this Lord, which can save you. When you pray to that Lord, it can save you. Prashantam. Prashantam means tranquil, is always in a meditative mood, not restless mood. Dhyatva. Dhyatva means you meditate depending on your own level. Depending on what you can meditate, you meditate. But ultimately, where do you reach? Munihi bhuta yonim gacchati. The meditator will attain this Ishvara. And what is this Ishvara? Ishvara is, the definition of Ishvara is Jagat Karanam, the cause of this whole universe. Another description of this Ishvara is Samasta Sakshi. Sarva Prakashena Chaitanyam. This Chaitanyam, the light of Chaitanyam, it is there. Wherever you go, it is there. That means what? In the light only you are going. That's all. It's an all-illumining consciousness, witness of the entire creation. Tamasa Parastat, I've explained to you, it is beyond the ignorance of the self and the Shakti. You must know that there is a Shakti in this body, in this world. This Shakti is expressing as the whole cosmos. But beyond this Shakti is what all these descriptions of the Lord are. Ultimately, there is only one description, which is Satchidananda Swarupam. Satyam, Chaitanyam, Anandam. It is unpolluted by internal darkness of Tamoguna. See, Tamoguna means avidya, ajnanam, ignorance. So it's beyond the ignorance, it is beyond the Shakti of Maya, it is the Jagat Karana Ishvaraha. That is what the Munihi, he gets by meditating on the Lord with these features. Okay, so we'll stop here and then we'll start next week with the 8th verse. Sa Brahma, sa Shivaha, Sendra, Sokshara, Paramaha, Swarat, Sa Eva Vishnu, Sa Pranaha, Sa Kalokni, Sa Chandrama. So this is what I was saying, how the cosmic being is being described. Here in these verses, we only see the meanings, but ultimately, what is the purpose of all this? This purpose is, if I can meditate on the Lord with these forms, then I will be slowly be able to make my mind fit for the ultimate realization. So 5, 6, 7, 8, all these mantras are all talking about how to meditate, what to meditate. Okay, so with this, we'll end today, and then we'll see next week from the next verse, which is the 8th verse. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnahat Purnamudachade Purnasya Purnamathaya Purnameva Vasishyade. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. So if you have any questions, you can ask them. At the moment, I don't see any questions on the chat box. So if you're asking a question, please unmute yourself. Otherwise, keep yourself muted so that we don't hear unnecessary other noises coming from around. Anybody has a question here? Yeah, Shama, please go ahead.
Om Shekharji. Thank you very much. I've got three separate questions. The first one is, the meditation is in the lotus of the heart, yeah, not in the indriya, not in the mind.
The heart means the mind is there in the heart. Yeah, so you forget about the heart and always focus on the mind.
Yeah, so it is beyond the indriya, beyond the mana.
Mind. Yes,
beyond
yes,
it.
Yes,
what
right.
I wanted to ask was, because that was described in the shloka. So is this happening in the Vijnanamaya Kosha or Anandamaya Kosha?
You see, what we are saying is that Atma is beyond the mind. Okay, correct. But the thoughts are all produced by the mind.
Correct. So which shall we say? For example, you have described Karta and Bhokta and,
yes,
all
see,
of that.
No, Karta Bhokta is a separate concept which is mentioned in the Panchakoshas of Vidyaranya in the Taittiriya Upanishad. That is a separate matter. So, here what we do is, here you say that my mind, I will employ my mind to think about the features of Atma.
Correct.
Which is Avyaktam, Achintyam, Arupam, Shantam, Shivam, Adbhutam. I bring these words.
So
deliberately I bring Adbhutam. I say this is Lord is this nature.
Yeah. No.
So you're using your mind. It is not when you're meditating, you're using your mind, but the goal of meditation is not the mind.
Correct. So it's the meditator is actually located in the mind itself.
Yes.
Right? The meditator. Correct. And the meditation is also happening
in the mind.
So if I have to translate it in the Panchakosha, it is happening in the
Vijnanamaya Kosha and Vijnanamaya Kosha.
Correct.
The Karta is the Vijnanamaya Kosha, who is the meditator.
Correct. So Vijnanamaya Kosha.
Yes.
Correct. This Dhyana Phalam is the steady, regular practice. Yeah. Does this reinforce Vairagya? Just this process of meditation, does it reinforce Vairagya?
Yes, it does. Yes, the regular abhyasa reinforces Vairagya.
Correct. Thank you. And what is also, I wondered whether what is also a phalam is what in our contemporary language we will describe it as a spiritual intelligence or an intuitive intelligence.
Yes, you're right. Intuitive intelligence. Yes, intuition is the ultimate phalam.
Phalam. Okay. The second question is, this is a, sometimes this leap into the inner world, into what one would spontaneously get the experience same as in meditation. For example, about the nature, the 5 elements, the vastness, the star-studded sky, or the depths of the ocean, or fire, Agni, Akashavayu. So that in itself, when you are actually looking deeply into it, so you're not doing actually a meditation, but it's actually triggering a meditative. Is it just a bhava, or
Yes.
because you're not actually meditating?
Correct. See, what happens is when you meditate on the Panchabhutas, the way you should say is these Panchabhutas do not have an existence of their own. They are dependent on me to be seen. I, the consciousness, am the awareing principle. The Panchabhutas don't have any existence of their own. Therefore, it is called as mithya.
Yeah.
If the Panchabhutas are mithya, the bodies which are made up of Panchabhutas are mithya. The mind which is made up of Panchabhuta is mithya. The whole world which is made up of objects which are made of Panchabhuta is mithya. Therefore, Brahma Satyam, Jagan Mithya is the ultimate truth.
So the question is, because of our regular meditation or swadhyaya, the study of the scriptures, is it that there is a change in our attitude where if I'm looking at nature, whatever aspect of nature, I'm alone by myself, it has a very meditative feel about it.
Absolutely, you're right.
So,
absolutely,
so I'm not doing meditation. I'm not
Yes.
doing meditation.
You are in meditation.
That's what I'm asking. Is
Yes.
it meditation?
It is. You are, when you are with nature, you are in meditation. That means you have forgotten your individuality.
But that's very spontaneous, isn't it?
It is
You're
spontaneous.
Not actually,
Yes.
You're
it
not
is
sitting down. You're
Yes.
not doing any
Yes.
of the.
So those are that. But then that feeling which you have, you become aware of. Earlier, you were not aware of it, but today you start become aware of such moments in your living.
No, but that's very spontaneous. I have done
spontaneous, yes. And that is what you should hold on. Hold on to that. Hold on to that pure living without any sense objects, without any giving any happiness out of sense objects.
Right.
Where do you get that happiness at when you are living in that contemplation? What provides that? That is what you should ask after you are finished coming out of it. Oh, I enjoyed this. I enjoyed for a few moments this wonderful feeling.
Yeah.
And it is so lovely. It is so tranquil.
So it's a very spontaneous thing.
Yes, it is, and it is natural. And this will grow. It will grow as you are doing the spiritual study. These moments of happiness, joy, blissfulness will grow more and more. As you study more, you will find, because see, the mind starts attuning to this nature, which you have never been exposed to before.
Correct. And just the other slight distinction. So, for example, and I'm just an example. Say, I've just recently been having a lot of garden makeover, work being done in the garden itself.
Yeah.
And which is really like some of the root stump and all that have needed to be rooted out.
Okay.
So just looking at the root of the tree and how hard it is to pull out, but to remember that it was because of that very strong root into the earth that it actually stood. It withstood everything.
Yeah.
So thus it was, this is only a thought. This is not meditation feel, because it was a thought that in the same way, if my own jiva is so deeply rooted in the scriptures or the dharmas, as it is, the dharma, my swadharma is to be deeply rooted into the truth and the reality of the scriptures. So the stronger the roots, the better I can withstand the
storms of life.
the storms, the Maya. Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is only a thought. This is not a meditation, isn't it?
No, but it is a thought which leads to meditation. You see, a meditative, contemplative mood brings these thoughts.
Okay.
You see,
even
these
although
thoughts,
voluntarily you're not thinking.
You're not voluntarily thinking. This is a contemplative mind, which is a result of your spiritual practices.
Okay, thank you. I just wanted to know the distinction.
Yeah.
And the very last question is this description of Shiva, because it's really interesting that is there in Kaivalya Upanishad, Shiva, Brahma, Vishnu. This has all been mentioned in the Upanishads?
Yes, yes, it is a part of the verses.
Yeah, no, this is why I'm asking.
Yeah.
That, the later gods, when, the description, because I thought in the Vedas, we only had the elemental gods, the Devatas. But
no, Brahma,
Shiva,
Vishnu, Shiva are very Vedic, they are Vedic gods themselves, the creator, resolution, and the maintainer. You see, these three words you will find in many Upanishads.
So those three did exist.
Yes.
But the later avatars of Vishnu and all that, that is not there.
That's correct.
That's also there? That's not there in the Vedas.
That's not, yeah.
Okay, thank you. That's it. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Shama. Anybody else has any other questions?
Secretary, I have one question.
Yeah, Manikanda.
Yeah, as you mentioned in the verse 7, it is about the future of the Lord.
Yeah.
Is Chintyam, Avaktyam, which means that we cannot think, we cannot grasp with our senses.
Yes.
This means these kind of, the knowledge what we are getting is to tame our mind to avoid the problems of the world. Like,
yes,
you're
negating. Yes, you're negating the world by saying these words. Deliberately saying Achintyam means ultimately you're saying that whatever I'm thinking is not the truth.
Okay.
For example, you're thinking about all your sorrows. It is not the truth. How do I take my mind away from the sorrow is by deliberately saying that the truth is not this, but the truth is Achintya. You cannot think about and say that whatever I'm thinking today, my orientation is whatever I'm thinking is the truth. I have to get rid of this orientation. Therefore, I say I want to go to the truth, which is Achintya. So it will indirectly enable me to drop the world and go towards the law.
But in this case, how we face the problems, how we solve this problem, which we cannot run away from our daily life.
Okay, now facing a problem, how to deal with the problems, that is a totally different matter of study. You see, the moment you come to Upanishads, the job of the Upanishads is to take away from the transactional world to a higher world. Your question is how to deal with the problems of the world then you should study the Bhagavad Gita, which is the text which will tell you, go with Karma Yoga Bhava. The Upanishad study will help you indirectly. How? By purifying your mind. By purifying your mind, what will happen is the Upanishad will say that you are not the mind. But then when you deal with the objective problems in the world, what will then happen is you will be much more analytical in your problem solving of the world. Indirectly, you will get a benefit, but it will not be a direct benefit of how to deal with your problems. How to deal with your problems, the Bhagavad Gita gives you a lot of methods. Karma Yoga is one of the methods. That is the main way the Lord teaches you how to deal with life's problems. See, one thing we must understand is all our transactional life is based on prarabdha karma. fundamentally, you should have this very clear understanding of two things. One is whatever I'm facing in this life is as per the cosmic law I am going to face.
Okay.
In the Upanishads, I am not talking of this cosmic law of the world of transactions. I am talking of a higher world. So you should understand the two realms in which we are dealing with. So when it comes to dealing with the problems, the first thing you do is accept it. Don't try to run away from the problem. Suppose you are facing some problem at home, some problem in the office. What you do is, okay, I am now facing this problem. What is the best I can do in these circumstances? You think that way. Let me apply my buddhi. Let me understand correctly, objectively, in this situation, what is the best I can do, I will do. And there are situations in everybody's life, not only your life, everybody's life, there are situations the situation is beyond my control. It is not within my control at all. At that time, the only thing which I can do is pray. There is a Lord which is in charge of this whole universe. I will just have to pray. I do my best. For example, if a doctor says that you don't have, somebody in the family is sick, you can't run away from the problem. Yes, it is there. I will do what I can. But after that, we are all human beings. We all have problems. Like last time in the previous Wednesday class, Deepak, who is one of our who listens to these sessions often, he said, yes, I lost two people in 1 week. Two of my best friends, I lost them. Now, see, for example, how do you deal with such a situation? See, these are all something which is not within our hands. That is why I keep saying, do whatever you can. If there is a situation you feel things are totally not controllable in my hands, the only thing we can do is just surrender to the Lord and say, Lord, now it is not in my hands, you take care of it.
Okay.
Okay, that is the way to deal with the human problems in our normal day-to-day life. But this is in this realm of consciousness of our waking state. When you come to Upanishads, the realm is the higher state, which is the Paramarthika level. That means it is like the dreamer and the waker. Here you are talking about Lord Parameshwara, Uma, Parvati. These are all, you're rising above the level of the waking state, the control. You're trying to reach the controller level and say there is a creator, there is a maintainer of this universe. I am now going towards in that direction. How do I meditate on that nature is a different realm.
Okay. Thank you.
You're now clear about the two realms, right?
Yes, now it's clear.
Okay, good. This is a very common question asked by many people. See, in the Upanishads, we keep studying the higher nature, but how do I deal with my day-to-day problems which I'm facing, which my sense organs are throwing me every second? But that is where you should know the difference between what we are studying, the realm at which we are studying, and our transactional realm. They are two different realms. We are taking our mind away from this transactional nature to the higher level. That is the purpose of the Upanishads, to expose you to the truth of the reality, truth of the world. The problems of the world, we can do our best to solve it. We do what we can. Like I said, ultimately, even to the best of a jnani, when he is suffering from some physical problems, he also, even though he knows the highest truth, that I am not the body, I am not the mind, he will also pray to the higher Lord of the Lord of the universe, because we all have only one common point to go for our problems, to solve our problems. To solve our physical problems and mental problems, we have to believe in whatever Ishta Devata we have, we believe and we solve. So don't give up your Ishta Devata puja at home. Continue the puja. Let that Ishvara take care of our day-to-day problems. The Upanishadic study is helping me to reach and go beyond these problems to another realm of consciousness. Okay, anybody else has a question? Thank you.
Shekharji, Hari Om.
Yeah, tell me.
In the verse number, mantra number 6, we are talking about 13 elements.
13 indicators.
13 indicators, which are each and every word are defining that there is no form at all.
Correct.
Doesn't talk. There is not even a single word was resembling directly or indirectly to a form.
Yes, you're right. Absolutely right. Yes.
But all of a sudden, on the 7th verse,
yes,
coming to a totally different.
Yes, you're dropping from the formless to the form. Yes.
All of a sudden, immediately in the next verse, we are coming to a form.
That's correct.
So,
You see,
is the Upanishad trying to say that first you should take that form sort of meditation, then elevate yourself, mature yourself, and then go into the?
No. You see, no. It is not like that. You see, the Upanishad always tries to take a seeker up. Now, the Upanishad also has compassion for people who are not able to reach that higher. Immediately, the Upanishad will talk and come to a lower level. So this is the style of the Upanishads. It will talk the highest first, then it will take you not okay. If you can't meditate like this, you meditate like this. If you can't meditate like this, then you do this. Like how it is presented in the 12th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita. Okay, so this is the style of the Upanishads. You just follow the style. You're right. You have observed very carefully that you meditate on Lord with form. First, he talks about Lord without form. Then he talks about Lord with form. Then he is going to talk about the process of meditation. Okay. In the next 1 or 2 verses, he will say that this is a process. I have told you what you should meditate on. That is the formless, that is the highest. But if you can't do that, you take the help of Lord Shiva and Parvati. If you can't do that also, I will teach you a process of just churning your mind. That is called as mathanam.
Right.
Okay, mathanam means you keep just churning your mind with thoughts of the Lord.
Right.
You know, even if you don't reach the highest, doesn't matter, but let your mind keep on churning. Oh, right. The Lord is like this. Oh, the Lord is like that. Oh, the Lord is like this. Oh, this is Lord Ishvara. This is the what is the nature of this Lord? He is the cause of the whole world. Let my mind keep on thinking in this direction only.
Right.
So don't bring the other thoughts of problems of my life and all when you are meditating.
Yeah.
That is how the meditation is to be done. And then in the 16th verse onwards, there is a Mahavakya. Whatever you have meditated, apply to your own self. That I am Tat Tvam Asi. That Lord which I meditated with this nature, in the 16th verse is the Mahavakyam. 16 to 22 verses are all Mahavakyams, where the Lord tells you, apply to your own self. That I am that pure, I am of that nature. The Lord's nature, yes, this is what I have meditated. Then the Lord says, now you meditate as it is your own nature. And then by doing this, what will happen? My mind will be able to drop and understand that whatever I'm experiencing, whatever I'm seeing, hearing, all that is of a lower nature.
Right.
It is mithya, it is not satyam. What is satyam is this pure, formless sakshi. This sakshi doesn't have a gender. It is not a male or a female. It is awareness. It is consciousness. It is one. It is the truth of this entire creation. Let my mind think more on this, and that if my mind is able to do that, what happens is the Lord says in the end, you are liberated. You are free. Will my mind think again of myself as all this, I am this, I am that, I am suffering and all that? No. Because your mind has got exposure into the higher realm, it will never come back to this lower realm and say that I am suffering. Then what will you say? It is the body's prarabdha which is suffering. It is going through these experiences. That is the body's mind prarabdha. It is not me. That is the ultimate benefit. The Lord will say in the 24th verse. You are free. Yeah, Saru, you were saying something?
Yes. So my question is, what about japa and nam and other mantra chanting? What are they in the overall scheme of meditation?
Okay, good. Very good. See, the japa, for example, is very, very useful in meditation. But japa is something you do in the beginning of your, before you do all this arupa meditation, and before you do the Ishta Devata, Ekarupa meditation, Anekarupa meditation, and Arupa meditation, before that you do japa.
Okay, okay.
So japa means you verbally chant.
Yeah.
See, verbally chant the names of the Lord, and let that chanting should be done. It gives you the focusing ability of the mind. You see, when you do japa, what happens is for 10 minutes, you are only chanting your mind is just focused on reading the names or chanting Om Namah Shivaya or whatever name you have been chanting. Continue that. The role of that is to make the mind one-pointed, single-pointed.
Right.
Because ultimately your gross mind cannot reach the truth. You need to have a subtle mind. You need to make your mind pure and both. See, there are two things we have to do. One is purity.
Yeah.
The mind has got a lot of impurities. Because of impurities only, the mind has got a lot of vikshepa shakti. Okay, it keeps on projecting, it keeps on wandering. So that you need to control.
Yes.
Okay, so for that japa is very useful.
So it's a purification and preparatory process.
Preparatory process is the japa. And then after your mind has become pure and focused and concentrated, how do I apply it? What is my next step? That is where you use Kaivalya Upanishad and start. You see, what happens is when the mind becomes subtle and pure, the mind itself will start contemplating. It is a natural process of growth of the mind itself.
Okay.
It will start contemplating on the verses of the whatever you are. It will start. You will see it. You will start seeing that my mind is started thinking of Avyaktam. It just starts doing that.
It's a natural process. Right.
Natural process. And then what happens is, again, the third step happens. The third step is, I am not the mind.
Yeah.
That is the third step. That also is a natural process.
Okay. Okay.
Our job is to only enter.
Yeah.
The moment you enter through some japa, through some forms of either puja, japa, visits to temples, whatever it is, our job is initially start entering. The moment you have entered, then the Lord takes over. That is a natural process. All of us, it will just happen.
Okay. One more question is about a japa. So people say keep doing the jap. So at such a at such a high number that it will become an ajapa.
Yes.
So
No, japa is nothing else, but it becomes a natural process. It is not a deliberate process. See, japa is a deliberate process
Yes,
of the
yes,
mind.
yes.
You are saying,
Yes.
I am next 10 minutes, I will do 108 japas.
Yeah, yeah.
That is a deliberate process.
Yes, yes.
If you have done japa for say 3 months, then suppose you have been chanting Vishnu Sahasranamam for 3 months, 6 months, 2 years. There are some people here who have done that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Even when you're going in a MRT or you're going in a bus or a train or a plane,
going on in the
your
head, yeah.
mind is started chanting.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That is
yeah.
called as a japa.
Okay, okay.
It is not deliberate. It is natural of the mind. It is you've trained your mind. That's all.
It'll help in more concentration.
Oh yes,
It does.
tremendously.
To
It
bring it
helps
down.
in concentration, not only in the spiritual field, also in your day-to-day Laukika field.
Right, right.
Suppose you
right.
have a problem with your daughter, son, in your office, in your home, your mind will be focused. It'll be able to remain and solve the problem rather than get clouded. You see, there are many people, you will find all types of minds in this world. When a problem comes, some people are just clouded. They don't know. They just keep saying, oh, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do, But there are some people who say, okay, you have a problem. Let's sit down. Let's talk. Let's be objective and solve the problem. Whatever best we can do, let us do it. If the doctor has said this and if we have to do it, we'll do it. Right. If this is the situation, I have to do it, apply the mind, because through japa, through the study of Upanishads, we all build the strength in the mind. You see, this has got invisible. These benefits are all invisible. You will not be able to see it. But when a situation is there in front of you, you know that I am able to face this because of my study of the Bhagavad Gita. And
No, that I'm started experiencing already.
You see, you will know.
Phenomenal.
Yeah, I am able to face it.
Yeah.
Because this study will give you the benefit.
Yeah. I surprise myself. I'm surprised by life and myself.
Yeah.
It's like that. Yes.
Okay.
Right.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. Anybody else? Okay. If there are no questions, we'll continue in next week, and we'll start with the 8th mantra. This Upanishad, you should learn it and also try to apply as much as possible. Wherever possible, apply. Just keep thinking about it. Oh, I can use this, I can use that. Like I said, don't forget that some of these indicators which are there, take it out separately of each Upanishad, just even if necessary, just write down the Kaivalya Upanishad, this mantra. This Upanishad, this mantra. You make your own list of 5 or 10 verses which you have understood as the most important for every Upanishad. If you do 12 Upanishads, 5 mantras each, you will have 60 verses. And these 60 verses are enough for you for the meditation for all your life. Keep that always as a goal. I'm doing this 24 verses. Let me take out the 5 best verses. Each one of you, do it. I like this. This is the most important mantra. I would like to revise this again. When I want to do Kaivalya Upanishad, I want to do these 5 mantras again. I'll go through it again. So my objective is what? 12 Upanishads, I'll collect 60 mantras. And 60 mantras, I know at any time if I want to contemplate and meditate, because that is the only process suggested by the Upanishads. Upanishads clearly say, let your mind keep thinking in the direction of this pure nature, and that will help you to drop your ego. The I am suffering, that I am suffering will come down. I am suffering, the word, then what will be? I am the pure nature. The suffering is coming and going. I have no control over this. It is something which is happening. as per the cosmic law. That's it. I do what I can to the best of my ability. But then if I am not able to, the situation is beyond my control, I am able to face it. Thank you. Good night.
Hari Om, Shekharji.
Hari Om.
Hari Om. Hari Om.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.